As much as I don't want to admit it, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. And no matter how much you try, there are just some things that are just gonna inevitably piss you off. Some things that might be really big, and some things that are just small inconveniences that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I have a ton of things that are kind of like that. And while they aren't the biggest deal in the world, I don't know, I still wouldn't complain about it. Now, admittedly, I am going to be stretching the definition of pet peeve, but there are just a lot of things that I really want to complain about because there's just some things that shouldn't exist, like performative males. I know that they've existed for some time now, but I recently saw one at school that just kind of looked like a performative male, or at least as close as a performative male as my dress code would allow. Either way, bro still looked like a bum. And honestly, I might just have to take a shit on some of these people because they're just doing the most. Basically, they dress or act a certain way just to pull women. Or not, I really don't know. But it's essentially just an act. And you're not really accomplishing anything, but just being an actual cornball. And it's a hard watch. Not hard while watching. These people just kind of need to disappear off the face of the planet. Just like the people who just randomly steal your gym machine or whatever. Like, when I'm at the gym, I usually don't need to do anything besides my workout. But sometimes, I'm gonna have to go to Tinkletown. And when I get up, I go use the bathroom. And then when I get back, some dingus just takes my machine. And it's not like I don't have my stuff there. You just literally took it. If you don't take your sorry butt off my... Okay, fine, I'll get off. Another gripe I have is when people don't wipe their machine and they just leave an entire ocean of sweat and it looks like someone jizzed on whole machine. Like, can you at least be a decent human being and wipe before you actually leave? Like, And yeah, I know I'm kind of being lazy for not doing it myself, but I don't need to do it myself because it's not my sweat. I mean, sure, I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but it's still really annoying. Like, you just feel gross for just sitting there. People like this is the reason why I want to own excavator equipment for totally nice and awesome reasons. Another thing that really bothers me is when people use sound effects. Now, I'm not going to say all sound effects because some sound effects are pretty funny and I've used sound effects all the time. But there's just certain sound effects that are just really annoying to listen to and they just kind of get under my skin. And I don't mean like they just like make me fume, but they're like kind of, it's like uncomfortable. It's like the equivalent of having slime poured down your back while you're wearing a tuxedo. It's not exactly a fun feeling. Not that I would know about that. Anyways, so these sounds are usually like the clicking sound, you know, the little, yeah, that sound. Oh my gosh, that sound just, it is not a sound that tickles my pickle, let's just say. Because this sound, not only is it overused, but it's also just annoying as freak to just listen to. Like, why do we have to use this sound? Why can't we just make up new sounds? Y'all though, not me. I don't do that. Recently, my videos have been kind of school related, somewhat, kind of, maybe a little. So let's just keep on that track and talk about popular girls because, oh man, how do some of these creatures like genuinely exist? How do they manage to be the most insufferable people of all time and also be like the most common people to run into? Like, a lot of them, they're genuinely just creatures. They make some of the stupidest jokes about stuff that isn't really even funny. They always like travel in packs, like taking up half of the hallway, making a whole freaking wall, and they always manage to look plastic as hell. Like, you look like you came straight out of the Barbie movie. No, not that one, that one. And they're also just really rude. Like, why? Especially to people that have special issues. Like, do you have no shame? That also makes them like really big hypocrites because a lot of the time they're always yapping about how they're such good little Christians. But then they just end up acting so rude just because. And their laugh is so annoying. Shut up! Something else that bothers me is when you don't subscribe, so you should go ahead and do that. You know, if you want to, though. Though something that you shouldn't do is reaction videos. Now, not all reaction videos are bad, and this might not be too crazy to talk about, but it's the fact that they just sit there and they just kind of stare into like some sort of void while barely putting any input into anything. They just stare. You know, like those shorts where people are just kind of just staring and looking into your soul like they're trying to see your deepest, darkest secret? Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, it might as well just be a re-upload at this point. But at least they put the oh, no, never mind. these people just borderline steal. It's not even fair use, because they're not even crediting the people. They're not even like giving them promotion, not even linking it. They're just straight up stealing it. This makes me kind of grateful for some of the reaction videos, because they're actually putting an input and they're also actually linking things in the description. That kind of stuff is good. If you ever decide to do reaction content, then please at least add a link in the description or something. But that's something that I really can't have any control over, so oh well. One last thing that I want to talk about that is a pet peeve of mine is the bell doesn't dismiss you. I do. Oh my gosh, why do people genuinely need to do this? I don't understand what's the thought process behind this. If you're holding us in here, then that means you can't do what you want, and we have places to be, like the bathroom. Okay, I don't want to take a leak in my pants. But this teacher's just so hell-bent on us staying in our classroom. Like, you're gonna make us late to whatever we need to go to just because you're holding us hostage. Just because what? Like, Mason didn't put his chair up or something? Or because he was, like, snorting too loud in class? Okay, sure, he's annoying, but still, that doesn't mean you have to punish the rest of us. In fact, that's actually something I want to talk about as well before I wrap it up. Why are teachers always just punishing the whole class for something one person did? Like, at that point, that's just petty, and it seems like you don't even want to be the teacher. Like, how on earth are you going to go about punishing all the good people when they've been following you? They're like practically the best citizens ever, and then they get punished because some kid named Connor decided to shove his pencil up his ass. Okay, that's about it. I gotta go. I'll see you later. Bye.